Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ortiz Outtakes.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hey, so you figured out your emoticons?
Oh yeah, check it.
Do you think you have to do the smile with it, or is it just two thumbs up?
No, you don't have to do the smile. It's just like this.
I don't
But
know
I
why
think
that's
it
so
looks.
funny.
I think it looks more cheesy when I smile. Like.
Okay, well, you got a good handle on it now, I guess.
So let me see. I think it's like this. Yeah, like that. Hang loose.
Hang loose. What if water came?
Or like a Hawaiian girl. Oh, it's raining. That was rain, right?
Yeah, it was like a storm. That's what you would give to the King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Oh my God. Don't let me get started on that one. That shit was hot garbage on 125th Street in the middle of the summertime.
Today, we're just gonna go over Dune 2, the movie, the film. An overview, just kind of go over the synopsis of this film. We're going to be talking about the entire thing, so this entire video is not spoiler free, it's full of spoilers.
Before we get started, I just wanted to say please like and subscribe and share, and we do appreciate any comments that we can get.
Leave us comments, interact with us, we will respond. I freaking loved this movie. I went to go see it in IMAX, and first of all, an IMAX theater, like a real IMAX theater that has like the correct dimensions, because I think you can watch IMAX films, but it's not necessarily the IMAX standard size, but it's still like an IMAX film or shot on IMAX cameras. But if you go to like a legit IMAX theater, that screen, I wish I can have that screen in my house. It's literally like the size of a building. And if you get a chance to see Dune 2 like that, you should, because it's just so good. I loved every part of it. I wasn't bored at all. What about you? Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I also think that it was better than the first one. The acting was very good, and it was thought-provoking as well. If you was fortunate enough to read the books, then you have a good understanding of what you're seeing. But I think the transition between the books and the movie was done well.
We're just going to start off and say that there's a lot of complicated names. If we butcher the names, don't come after us.
Yeah. We butcher regular names.
Yeah, we butcher regular names. So, and we just like call people. We just call the characters the actors' names. You know, we're not gonna get it right, but we'll try our best. So first of all, Dune is a classic sci-fi book series from 1965. It was written by Frank Herbert. If you don't know anything about Dune, it's set in a distant future. The film adaptation of Dune follows Paul Atreides, which is played by our boy Timothy Chalamet, little Timmy Tim.
Chop, Timmy Tim, little Timmy Tim, chop, Timmy Tim, little Timmy Tim, now chop, hey, now chop, hey, now chop, hey, now chop, hey, now chop.
It follows him as his family, which is the noble house of Atreides. And if you don't know anything about Dune at all, like Dune the first movie, I suggest watch a recap of that and then come right back to us to learn about Dune 2, because there's different houses and different bloodlines, and just know that Paul Atreides, the House of Atreides, is one of the important houses and bloodlines. The House of Atreides is thrust into a war for spice, which is only in the desert on the planet of Arrakis. And this desert is deadly and hospitable, it's dry, and plus there's huge sandworms there. And only the people who live there, the Fremens, know how to live and thrive on that land. Dune 2 focuses mainly on the theme of like false prophecies, war, and religious manipulation that kind of leads to wars. And it's just kind of a story about like an outside savior. Should we trust this outsider to be our savior, you know, because he's not one of us? Or is this an actual like God like prophecy has been fulfilled, like kind of story that's going on? So we kind of see a conflict of basically like religious and non-religious people within like the Fremen.
Just to add on to that, while making the movie, the director was inspired by Lawrence of Arabia.
He's explained that it basically like follows the same trope that Paul is going through. You can even see him discuss like his direct influence from that film and story, and he even did similar like shots, and of course the landscape is similar, but the story is quite similar as well. So he was super inspired by that.
For over a quarter of a century, controversy has raged around the name of T.E. Lawrence. No man of our time has drawn upon himself so much praise and so much criticism.
Dune 2 was directed by Dennis. He has a killer superstar cast like Florence Pugh, Zendaya, of course Timothy, Javier Bardem, Rebecca Ferguson, and Josh Brolin, and more. Like, you know, I'm forgetting like Christopher Walken, Austin Butler. Like, basically, if you're a hot actress right now, you're in Dune. And that's not even like in the last film they had Oscar Isaac and Jason Momoa, but they're not in this one because sadly,
yeah, it looks like, you know, he always got superheroes in his movie. He got Florence Pugh, superhero. What was
Josh Brolin? That's
Josh
Thanos.
Brolin, Thanos, and Cable. Oscar Isaac from Star Wars, and also from the Moon Knight.
But remember, Oscar Isaac was an X-Men.
Oh, he was. That's right. He was.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
I don't know. I really like it with having all these superstars in the film.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent.
Yeah. So right away we see the film pick up practically right as the first movie ended, and in a lot of ways this reminded me of the Two Towers with Lord of the Rings, because when you watch those movies, there's practically no break in between the first movie and the beginning of the second movie. Like, it just continues right away, you know, and there's nothing you didn't miss. Like, we're just going right back into the adventure, and that's how Dune felt.
Yeah.
Dune 2. So after the massacre that happened to Paul's people at the House of Atreides, Paul and his mother decide to join the Fremen people on Arrakis.
All of this shit is happening for spice, because whoever has the spice has everything.
They're trying to get control of Arrakis because they need the spice.
Exactly. So if you control the spice, you control it all. So it's a lot of politics in it, you know, politics, religion, everything that we love.
They become like a part of the Fremen people tribe. Not easily. They had to work hard for it. So, Stilgar, who's played by Javier Bardem, teaches Paul the Fremen ways, and he just like knows in his heart that Paul, Timothy Chalamet, is the prophecy come true. Also, I just want to say his character was so funny. He was like the comic relief. Like, one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was, and you know, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but his mother, whenever she was drinking the poison, like they were like, oh, the prophecies come true, the Messiah's mom is supposed to like live through that or whatever. And then like Timothy Chalamet's character is just like, no, I'm not the prophet. Like she's trained to do this. Like her people train her to survive poisoning. And then like the next scene, like he's like proving them all wrong that he's not the Messiah. Like he's telling them, I'm not the Messiah. I'm just a normal person. And then the next scene, Javier Bardem's like in a group. He's like, the Messiah is too humble to say he's the Messiah. Like, you know, and they're just like, oh yeah, he wouldn't tell us the truth. Like they're still like blindly believing in this like prophet that's coming to save all of them. So he pretty much takes Paul under his wing.
You're brave, we all know that. Be simple, be direct, nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy.
Because the Fremen people of the north are pretty much split half and half on whether to trust Paul or not. Like some don't trust him, they think he's a spy, and then the others literally think he's like the prophecy come true, that he's the chosen Messiah. So Paul learns quickly the Fremen ways from Stilgar, and with his help, along with Chani's help, and Chani is the role that Zendaya plays, which turns into his love interest. They fall in love. It's a whole thing. During this whole time that he's living amongst the Fremens, the Harkonnens, the bald people, they keep on like ruthlessly attacking Arrakis over and over and over again, and they're failing because the Fremen people, they know their land better than anybody else, so they're able to beat the Baldies. Paul is prominent in the attacks against the Harkonnens, the bald people, and so he ends up earning the trust of the Fremen people, like of the non-believers, pretty quickly. He passes like each of his challenges that Stilgar has like put him through, and he even rides a sandworm, which was one of the biggest like challenges, like final challenges. This even built even more trust and belief that he's a chosen Messiah, because for his first time riding the worm and calling the worm, he ends up calling like on accident. He has no control, but the worm that ends up coming for him to ride apparently is a grandfather worm, and is one of the biggest ones that they've ever seen. So they think, you know, they're like instantly people turn into believers because he rode the worm successfully, and only Fremen people know how to ride worms and can ride the worms. Paul then earns the Fremen name, the Maudib. So Maudib refers to this little desert mouse. I feel like when he picked his name, he was like being funny, but then just these people believing that he's the Messiah, they were like, oh yeah, no, that's we respect that name. That's a good name. We respect that mouse, because like the mouse is a symbol of survival and, you know, adaptation to the harsh conditions of their planet,
and
their homeworld.
That mouse also showed up in the first movie.
Yes, when he was doing his studies back at home.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of foreshadowing. But yeah, so, you know, he picks that name, and that was just like another instance of them, like, you know, thinking he's the Messiah because he picked something that's like well respected, and he's passing all these challenges. And, you know, some of them know. There's like the non-believers. They're just like, this like religion or religious text that they're getting this from, or that they believe in, was made up, you know. And we learn it was literally made up by Paul's mother's people, the Bene Gesserit, which they're kind of like witches. I'll talk about them in a second. Getting the Fremen's trust, this is all good, super good for Paul, because he needs the Fremen soldiers to help him in this war against the Harkonnens, the bald people, which he vowed his vengeance to. They're responsible for his father's death, and he basically needs to secure his throne again. On another planet, Arulan, which is played by Florence Pugh, and a Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother, like an older witch lady. And like I said, they're basically some witches where Paul's mom comes from. And they're in discussions with an emperor named Shaddam, and that's played by Christopher Walken. And they're discussing the state of Arrakis. And it was also revealed early on, and I'm gonna say, like, plot twist, like right here, that Shaddam, the emperor, is responsible for the destruction of the House of Atreides. So that means Paul is coming for them as well, and not nicely. Like I said, he's getting vengeance for his father's death and the fall of the House of Atreides. While Paul's plan is to earn the trust of the Fremen, his pregnant mom, Jessica, or Rebecca Ferguson, she has a different way of going about it, and she ends up becoming the Fremen tribe's Reverend Mother. And in order to do that, she has to drink the water of life. They basically extract this liquid from a baby sandworm, and it's poison. It's poisonous. Like, a lot of people don't survive, and men don't especially survive. So she becomes a Reverend Mother and drinks the water of life, which allows her to open up her mind, and she's able to see multiple futures and lives and timelines. And she sets off on this mission to get the Fremen to believe that Paul is the Messiah. Like, meanwhile, Paul was telling them, I'm not the Messiah, like, I'm just here to learn your ways, and that, that's it. But she's off doing her own thing and telling people, like, no, he is the Messiah, you need to spread the word. And mind you, this prophecy is one that was made by her people a long time ago, the Bene Gesserit, the witches, in order to control, like, the masses and secure their, like, place in life and hierarchy. So she does all this while her unborn daughter talks to her from the womb, and it's creepy. It's
From the where?
It's like her unborn daughter is like talking to her, or she's creeping people out, because, like, she's just like, I know, I heard you. Like, she'll walk into a room and she's just like, I know, I told him already. I know, I heard you the first time. Like, it looked like she's talking to herself, but she's talking to her unborn baby in her stomach. And so,
Talk about weird.
So meanwhile, the bald-headed Harkonnens are getting busted up by the Fremen. They're getting busted up by the Fremen time after time, and the Baron, which is like the main Jabba the Hutt looking bald one, who's like always taking a bath in like black liquid, he's like fed up with Bautista's character, which is the other main bald guy, but Bautista.
Oh yeah, I forgot
wrestler.
about it. He's a superhero too.
The Baron is fed up with Bautista's character, and he sets up his nephew, Fade Routha, who's played by Austin Butler, who I will just say, like, he just went all in on this character. He was creepy, bald, and evil.
Yeah, his name was Fade.
Yeah. Fade Routha. And so the Baron is setting him up to take his place as the leader, like, I guess, the Baron. And so, like I said, Fade is truly like a sociopathic character. He just, like, kills for fun, pretty much. Like straight up, he just kills people for fun. And speaking of the Baron and the Harkonnens, there's another major plot twist. So let me remind you, the Ball people and the House of Atreides, like Paul's people, they're two of the most powerful houses or groups or, you know, bloodlines in the universe. And throughout like the middle of the film, Paul is avoiding going to the south. So he's been avoiding going to the south because like he's been seeing prophecies of, you know, bad things. Like he's been having dreams of bad things happening after he goes down there. But finally he goes to the south and joins the southern Fremen tribe, and he drinks the water of life. And through that, him drinking the water of life, Paul finds out, or it's shown to him, that his mother's father is the Baron. So the big Jabba the Hutt looking bald guy is his grandfather, and then Fade is his cousin. And this is a secret. This is only shown to them after Paul and his mom drank the water of life, and this is definitely like those witches doing. They were securing their bloodline and securing their place of power throughout the universe. And so people don't know that Paul is like the most powerful being. He is, you know, half and half of the two most powerful bloodlines now in the universe. That's what I'm understanding. Leave comments if I'm getting things wrong. This basically tells us that Paul is the most powerful being in the universe, and only him and his mom know. Nobody else knows. I mean, maybe some of the witches know, but I don't think they know the way that they've been acting, because they're still trying to secure, like, they're still sending other witches to secure their bloodline, you know, with the bald people. Like, they, you know, something that happened where they seduced, like, Austin Butler's character, which was kind of funny. And, like, yeah, basically these witches control everything. They're the real powerful one. And so Paul's mom is one of the witches. His dad is House of Atreides, and outside of her being one of the witches, she also has the bloodline of the other powerful house. So like Paul is like the ultimate like mix, and so it's kind of insane.
After Paul drinks that water of life, he almost dies because the water is poisonous for all the males. So the only one that who saved him was Chani. Chani, with the mixture of her tears and the water, saved his life.
In the prophecy, basically the meaning of Chani's name says that is what's gonna save Paul's life, and so she's written into the prophecy as well.
Yeah.
And so that it makes people even more, you know, believe into this prophecy, because she did end up saving his life after he drank the water of life.
Stilgar and the other Fremen, you know, they will follow Paul anywhere, and especially after they witnessed him coming back from that poisoning. You know, they already, that like everything that Paul did would confirm more and more that he was the Fremen's Messiah. And also Paul, you know, he started visualizing what is coming. Paul you know, he was also having visions of the future, but that didn't deter him from, you know, moving forward and exacting revenge for what happened to his father, the Duke. So the Duke, you know, as you know, he was played by Oscar Isaac. You know, he has several movie credits to his name, and you know, he's a great actor and what have you.
Oscar Isaac, that's my fave. I love Oscar Isaac.
But before he died, Paul got the ring, the Duke's ring, and you know, he looks at it and he knows what it represents. Their natural spot in the houses, and now he's doing all he can to get back to that. He also had a vision in which he saw that his mother, Jessica, was leading him to genocide. The end of the movie made me think about how it played out, the way Paul played the Fremen people to fight in his war, manipulating them with the promise of freedom from oppression. All the while, he carefully planned to use the Fremens to help take back his throne.
You know, he kind of had me too. I thought he was like learning their ways, and then he was like in love with Chani, and I thought like their love was like changing him, his like thought process of like conquering the throne and things like that. So he kind of had me too. But when you think about it, like the way where this movie is going, in the very beginning of the movie, when him and his mom are brought to the Fremen people in the beginning, they're talking amongst themselves, and he basically tells her like, you need to get the rest of them. Like, he tells her to do that, you know, and then he starts like, you need to get the rest of them to believe in me or to trust me. He really did use them. Like, him and his mom had that planned, and even though he did fall in love with Chani and he did fall in love with the Fremen way, he's still like a royal, you know, person trying to get his place back in society.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people don't notice about it. They just think it's gonna be a feel good type of good ending and he's the hero, but in reality he was the protagonist. Paul challenges the emperor to a fight, and however the emperor assigns Paul's cousin Fade to challenge.
Just reminding people, that's Austin Butler, bald and evil.
Yeah, he's very skilled at combat, but then they showed a scene in which his opponents were being drugged. So it was kind of like a little bit false, you know, not to give him too much of a fight. You know, I think there was one person that was not drugged, and he was gave him a good fight, you know, for his money.
A fun fact about that actor, and I'll insert a picture of him. He was actually the fight trainer for all of the movie and cast.
Oh yeah, that scene, by the way, I really liked because it was filmed in black and white, and it gave it, you know, the lighting and everything. It just gave it kind of a different look. I think I really enjoyed it. It was nice.
I really do like that choice that they made to make it black and white. Like I said, I haven't read the books, but that definitely was a choice from the director and the cinematographer, and I thought they made a good choice with that because they have a black sun, and then we kind of see like it kind of feels like it like kind of not so scary but like eerie and grimy because we're on the planet of those bald-headed people and they're evil.
Although, you know, he was a good fighter, Paul got the better of him in that fight. It's a knife, you know, they fighting with knives. Paul got the better of him, although it lasted for a few minutes, and it was good. It was very well choreographed. Paul implemented a technique that, remember now, he was trained by the best of the best fighters. That's for part of the reason, you know, people will look at him and like, you know, kind of like not think that he's a threat. He was trained by the best of the best, and he enacted a training technique from Gurney, Josh Brolin's character. He told him when they in a fight sequence, when Paul thought he had won Cable, you know, he told him, you got to check your body, you know, your low, down low, and he wound up, you know, he was beating that fight. So he did that during that fight, and he won against his cousin Fade.
And I would say that was so intense because I thought he got stabbed. Like, I was like, wait, like, is he gonna have to be brought back to life again? I was like, damn, they're gonna think this guy can walk on water next. Like,
that's the next thing.
I was like, hey, no way. And then I don't know, I can't wait to rewatch it again to see that fight scene because they really had me. I thought that Austin Butler got Paul. I thought, because he did get him, he did stab him, but Paul had
got him.
He had
worse,
the more killer killer stab.
Right after that scene right there, you know, of course the Fremens was there, and also the Harkonnens were there, and along with the princess, and also Chani. So when he won, you know, they were bowing down to him and stuff, the Fremen, and the people that, there was only one person that didn't bow down, and that was Chani.
She never been a believer. Like, she's one of those people who is like, this prophecy, what was she say? This prophecy was made to enslave us. Remember?
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
what
all
she
right,
said.
MJ, calm down.
Right? Like, she very much was like one of those people who was just like, no, this is meant to control us. I mean, and she was right in a way.
She was right all
still
along.
fell for Paul. She still fell for Paul.
Yeah, she was right all along, because in the next sequence, during the negotiations, after he won that fight, it was the time for the emperor to die. So the princess, right?
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she says that she would marry Paul if they would not kill the emperor. So he agrees, and then right in front of Chani, you know, and that scene right there was like heartbreaking. I know she left heartbroken after that, because she turned around like, you know, she just got dissed and dismissed, right? And she went and rode a bigger worm. Yeah. But she rolled out. I know she was heartbroken and furious at the same time, you know?
Yes, but let me just say that before that happened, she was already like not feeling him, because he was having his whole power trip after he drank the water of life, and she was pissed that she had to save his life, you know, in another part before that. And so they weren't really on speaking terms, but right before that happened, he looked at her and he was like, I just want to let you know that I love you for no matter what happens, and any lifetime, like, you know, some like he loves her forever type shit. And then literally he turns around and he's like, I will marry your daughter to the emperor. He's like, I will marry your daughter for your spot, like, you know, your throne. And then Chani, Zendaya's character, she looked like she got stabbed. She was like, you know, like she was hot. She was heartbroken. Yeah, but she still, still left.
That part was tense, you know, considering that they built up. Yeah, considering that they built up this intense love story, you know.
And we just saw so that's such
one of the
a
things
switch in him.
That's one of the things that's different from the books. In the books, she stays with him no matter what. And in the movie, you know, it's not like that. So after murdering the Baron and taking the Empress seat, the word arrived back that that the houses did not, or the council did not accept it did not recognize his position. So all of this right there is what is the start of a holy war, because when that happens, Paul, he uses his newfound power over the Fremen to enact, you know, an act of war that lasts for years and years, and that's you know, we walking into the next movie, because it kind of stays like that at the end of the movie, where they show they show some fighting and what have you, but it kind of closes out there.
It basically ends in battle.
Yeah, I mean, I think that moving on, I think Chani will be the new protagonist in the next movie, which is a book called The Messiah, and it's going to be the same. The movie's going to be called Messiah as well. I believe it'll take place after the Holy War is over, and the book. They also have a child, you know. In the book, they also have a child. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. The sister, Aaliyah, is going to have a huge role in that movie, as far as she's concerned. You know, she wasn't really featured too much, except for kind of like creepy room talking and stuff. But she's gonna be I think she's gonna be a full grown woman in the next movie.
If she's not
yeah.
full grown, I think she'll be like a teenager, you know, and then Paul will be a little bit older. But like, yeah, she was only featured in this film, Anya Taylor-Joy, in a vision that Paul has after he drank the water of life. So it literally is like 7 seconds.
She's gonna be prominently featured in the next movie. I can guarantee you.
They really had her on the red carpets and everything, and she was only in. They could have kept her a secret.
Yeah, I know, right? This film, it could easily draw you into believing that Paul is the good guy. You know, after all the dialogue and you know, getting into all the weeds and seeing what had happened, you could see how, you know, you could get surprised and then all of a sudden he's Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? He's killing everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in the Holy Wars. It's like 60 billion people die. You know, and that's all because of Paul getting his revenge.
And you already see it happen because after he drank the water of life, he just, you know, was able to see all these futures, and he changed like right away. Yeah. And he goes to the Fremen and he starts talking like the whole movie. He's like, no, I'm just normal. Like, I just want to help y'all. Like, beat oppression and stuff like that. But then after he did that, he marched into their, like, not a church, but like their holy prayers, and he was like, I'm your leader, who else is the Messiah? And like, since he's like kind of has witch powers, he's able to like use those powers and manipulate it in a way to get people to believe him.
It was so calculated that it was surprising.
Yeah. Like, he went from being nice to being like, y'all need to bow down to me. Like, he turned that way quick.
I really like this movie. And I hope that, you know, that they start working on the Messiah movie, because I think that movie, you know, it'll cap it off really well. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And then close it out.
No, I loved it so much. Like, it's like my new obsession right now.
But there is an upcoming TV show of the Dune, so hopefully they can do a good job and not, you know, be in canon. You know what I'm saying? I always think, you know, they should put more of Florence Pugh. I love her, man. She's nice. I like her.
One thing that we didn't really touch on, because there is so much
it is
more, you know, that happens in this film, but Florence Pugh's character apparently in the books is almost like a narrator, but it's more told by her diary or her journal entries. And so in the movie, they show her character doing the journal entries, and it kind of serves as a way to, you know, lead the audience, make sure we're following along, pretty much.
Yeah, Aaliyah. You know, in the very first movie, like in the 80s and shit, you know, the first verse movie. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I know you, but I know you've seen replays of that shit, little cuts. Mm-hmm. But you know, Aaliyah be talking all creepy as fuck, and she's a little girl and shit. And she talks like a monster.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, God damn, I hope they don't do that shit from the womb. That'd be fucked up. It'd be like,
well, she did sometimes. They were like,
he like, I hear some shit. Hey, I hear some shit like that. Like, I got diarrhea.
What was that? Oh, that doesn't feel right. Oh, God, it hurts. It hurts.
That's how her stomach sounds. I'm pretty sure, like, Anya had taken this role knowing that she's going to be, like, a main person in the next one.
Yeah, no, I pretty much guarantee that, because I believe that, you know, just like in the movies, Paul is going to die at some point, and probably in the beginning of the movie, you know.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he is. You know, Even Darth Vader dies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm acting like these movies ain't 3 hours long. I was like, well, we're not gonna see him being all evil and stuff, but we'll get an hour and a half at least.
I think the next big bad is gonna be his own sister. That's what I think. But I mean, we could just go read the book, right?
I think that shit will be. Yeah, that's true. I think I don't know. I feel like maybe she will be like Paul, but not evil Paul. Do you think Chani and Paul will have babies?
She's probably pregnant right now.
Oh, yeah, probably. This is a book written in the 60s, and there's a reason why people are such Dune fans. And once you start learning about the story and everything that happens in these novels, you begin to see how it's been referenced time after time, and so many other science fictions and even like music videos, and it's just crazy how actually ingrained it is in pop culture and people don't even know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it was for me it was a thumbs up. Maybe Dune will be out in less than 3 years, but we'll see. But I mean, it would be nice to see if he's working on that TV show.
I know, right? I don't know, because I just feel like Dune, the movies take so much out of him. I was watching interviews and stuff, and he's just like, I'm still processing everything. And it's just so I don't know if he will take on a TV show. When you do a TV show and they're hour long, and say you have 10 episodes, that's 10 movies.
Yeah, I hope they keep it legit and they don't do Disney Plus.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be on. What do you think? HBO?
I know they put it out.
Dune is on HBO.
Yeah, they put it out, so I don't remember what network is gonna pick it up. Yeah.
But yeah, so thumbs up for Dune. Do you? I wish I had that. Anyways, so that was our overview, our discussion of Dune 2, the movie, from beginning to end. And please leave us comments, because like I said, I'm not a reader of the books. So if there's anything that you guys want to let us know about it, or different changes that were from the books and the films and stuff, please let us know, because like I said, it's my latest obsession, and I'm probably going to start reading Dune by the end of this year. I'll make that a goal. And so yeah, if you let me, I'll keep talking about Dune. So we gotta sign off.
I'll be all right already.
All right! God, you were normal yesterday.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening and watching. And that we ask for you to comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, until the next time, we'll see you.
Bye. See y'all next time. Oh, your fireworks didn't go.
Oh.
No, it's like this. Oh, yeah.
That's going to be my signal.
That's your sign off now.
Yeah, that's going to be my sign off.